Nicole Chavez with the City of Borger. We have a video series called Behind the Doors, where we take you guys behind the doors of our downtown, historic, and sometimes vacant buildings. But today, we're at one of my favorite spots, Thomas Greenhouse. Let's go. Today on Behind the Doors, we're stepping inside a building that tells the story of when Borger became more than just a boomtown. It became a community. Before this was home to Thomas Greenhouse, 120 West 5th Street served as Borger's post office. But its story starts long before these walls were ever built. When Borger was founded in 1926, one of the very first things established here was a U.S. post office. Because at that time, a post office wasn't just about mail. It was a signal that meant your town wasn't just a collection of tents anymore. It was official and it was here to stay. But even more so, before phones, emails, and social media, the post office was a lifeline. It was how people stayed connected to family, to businesses, and to the world beyond the Panhandle. Letters carried news, opportunities, and life-changing moments across the country. And while Borger's post office moved several times throughout the early years, this building constructed on 5th Street is one that still stands strong today. Because Borger's post office moved several times as the town grew, many believe Ace Borger was shot here. But that is not the case. He was actually killed at one of the earlier post office locations just off of Main Street. But by the mid-1930s, Borger and the entire country was facing something even bigger, the Great Depression. Millions were out of work, and in response, the federal government created the Works Progress Administration, a program designed to put people back to work by building what communities needed most: schools, roads, parks, and buildings just like this one. Constructed in 1936 and opening its doors in 1937, 120 West 5th Street became Borger's fourth post office. But unlike the others, this almost 5,000 square foot building was built to last. And you can still see that today. From the original metal scroll work to the detailed original wood moldings to the hand-painted lettering still visible on some of the original doors, this is craftsmanship from a time when things were built with intention and built to endure. Even the original safe still stands. For many men in Borger, this place holds personal memories. Walking downstairs into the government offices where they came to register for the draft. And as we've learned through this series, there's more to these buildings than meets the eye. This wasn't just a post office, it was a federal building. And at a time when Borger had a reputation for being a little rough around the edges, security mattered. There was a real need to protect what moved through these walls. Mail wasn't just letters, it was money, records, and personal information. Things people trusted would be handled with care. And long before security cameras, protection looked a little different. One of the most unique things about this building is the small observation points that allowed the postmaster to quietly oversee the space in its day-to-day operations. Today, with cameras, AI, and social media, the idea of being watched is something we've almost grown used to. But when you strip that back and imagine it not as technology, but as a person quietly observing within the walls, it can feel a little creepy. But another perspective is that this building has always been watched over and cared for, and today that care continues. What makes this building truly special is that its story didn't end when it stopped being a post office. Today, it's home to something just as meaningful: Thomas Greenhouse, a family downtown anchor business that has been serving Borger for over 50 years. Started in 1968 by Marlon Thomas as a roadside store on the Fritch Highway, he grew it into the wonderful business we know and love today. What I love most is the cutest story that the owner of the building, Lisa, shared with us.
My dad used to come down here and call my mom when they were dating.
Really?
In a payphone. Because he didn't have a phone.
So like before he even knew about this building, he would come use the payphone.
Well, yeah.
That's Borger, a place where history and personal stories don't just coexist, they intertwine. We are so thankful for the Marlins and the Possells for the love they've poured into preserving this space. What was once a place of function is now a place full of life, color, and history of its own. Open seasonally from March through June, this amazing greenhouse boasts thousands of different plants, trees, and flowers alongside a thoughtfully curated collection of antiques that have been gathered over more than 30 years of searching and storytelling. And even when the doors aren't open, this place is still cared for. If there's ever something you're looking for during off-season, just reach out to Lisa and her team, and she can get you taken care of. If you haven't stepped inside yet, I encourage you to do so. Stop by and mention the Behind the Doors video and experience the beauty and fresh air. This series is about bringing attention to the places that make our downtown special and recognizing the value of what we already have. Because when you take care of what you've been given, you make room for even more. Join us next time as we go behind the doors.
Come join us downtown.